This is UARK 19 CS1255. In this video, we'll be seeing our experiment number 4, that is length of the longest common subsequence between two strings x and y. So we'll start from the main function. So here is our main function. This is nothing but getting two strings as input from the user, and we're taking that two strings, and we have a function defined called print LCS length. That there is nothing but we're printing the length of the LCS, that is longest common subsequence, and here is that function. So to do that, to find the length of the longest common subsequence, what we need is a two-dimensional array. So that's what I have done. We are doing here in number of zeros and number of columns. So I'm taking number of rows as the length of the first string plus 1. So plus 1 we are adding here, that is nothing but the thing is we'll be having the whole first row and whole first column as zeros, right? So in order to provide an extra row for zeros, in order to provide an extra column for zeros, I've done this like this. I've added the plus 1 to the number of rows and plus 1 to the number of columns as well. Now this is the original two-dimensional array initialization, and below that we have another array. This is two. The thing is, in the two-dimensional array we'll be having the entries as the entries hold at integer data type, integer data, as well as an arrow pointing either upwards, either left towards left, or either diagonally. So an integer two-dimensional array cannot handle that arrows as well, right? So in order to avoid that, I have taken another array in which the arrows have to be, I mean the representation of arrows have to be set. So this is the thing, initializing the whole first row and column with zeros. So and as well as the filling the entries, filling the entries to the array. So using these nested loops, we'll be filling the entries of the two-dimensional array. So we need two loops for two-dimensional array, right? So that's why we have taken two loops, and if I equals to 0 and j equals to 0, so this means that we are setting 0 at the in the whole first row and whole first column. So this is a condition for that, and as well as I'm setting the zeros in the directional array, that is image. Image I have taken as a to denote the directions of that integer data, right? So that's why we are setting 0 into that two-dimensional array as well. And else if, I mean if that is not the first row and first column, I equals to 0 and j equals 0 denotes the first row or first column, right? So if I is not equals to 0, I mean I greater than 0 or j greater than 0, it indicates that it is not the first row or first column. And here we have a condition that x dot char at I minus 1. So x is our string, and char at I, here I starts from 1, right? So 1 minus 1 will be 0, and that the character at the first index in the string, or the first string, if that is equals to the character at the first position in the second string. So if the two characters are same, then we have a condition like the entry, that particular entry in that two-dimensional array equals to 1 plus, we'll be adding the I minus 1 denotes the just immediate previous row, and j minus 1 denotes the immediate previous column. So that entry we are adding a 1 to that particular data in that entry, and we are filling the this entry, that is two-dimensional array of I and j. And here we are setting minus 3 because image is also an integer array, and we cannot have any symbols like direction or something like that. So that's why I have set minus 3 as the diagonal direction. Now here we can see, if I greater than 0 and j greater than 0, still it's not the first row and the first column to do that. And if the particular characters in both the strings do not match, that's why I've used this not equals to symbol. And we have two conditions, that if the row is common, and we are jumping towards the immediate previous column and checking that if that is greater with the uh, with the data in the entry at immediate previous row and same column. If that is true, we'll be filling that particular entry with this value, the greatest of these two values, and we'll fill with this value. And the image of that particular at that particular location also will be filling with minus 2. Minus 2 here indicates that it is nothing but the left directional arrow. So that's the case here. If, or else if the if this is not greater than, if this condition fails, this should be greater than, right? So that greater value nothing but this one. We'll be assigning this to that particular entry. Either this condition or this condition should be true. And here we can see image of I and j. I mean the directional value as -1. -1 denotes the upward directional arrow. So in that way we'll be setting the entries in the two-dimensional array and the directional array as well. Now here we can see we are printing the common subsequence, and that is nothing but the we have another function above defined above that is called print LCS. That is, it just prints the longest common subsequence but not length. So we're calling that function which prints the common subsequence. And after once we will go above and check that function as well, print LCS. So here is our print LCS function. It takes the directional array as the input and sequence. This is nothing but the first string, I guess. Yes, it is the first string, and the next two inputs are the length of the first string and the length of the second string, int I and int j. So if int I equals to 0 and or int j equals to 0, that means this is the base condition. So we'll start from the last entry in the two-dimensional array, right? So in that way, if it reaches the first, I mean 0, or 0 means if it reaches the first row or first column, then we are returning from this function. That means this is the base condition for this recursion, whole recursion. Yes. Now we are checking if that particular entry is -3. That is, if the arrow is diagonal, then diagonally pointing. Then what we are doing is we will call the recursion as we just need to jump into the particular corresponding diagonal entry. So to have that, here we can see the row is I-1 and j is I-1. That means there's nothing but we're shifting a row above and a row towards left. So that's how we can get into the diagonal entry. So that's why the inputs have been changed in this way. And after that, after this recursion will be over, then we'll be printing the character at I-1. So that is nothing but the first character in this sequence, that is first string. So next we are checking for array of I and j equals to -1. This indicates that if the particular entry is pointing towards upward direction, that means if that particular entry has an upward arrow. So if that is true, then we are calling the function with I-1. That means if the arrow is pointing towards upwards, then we just have to shift this pointer towards the above row. That means that's the reason I have given I-1 here. I points the row, right? So I-1 takes us to the just immediate above row, and j is common, that is common here. Now or else if that is not true, then it should be pointing towards left, right? So that will be the condition in this else part. So if you have to jump towards the left, then what you need to do is you just have to stay in the same row, but you just have to say like j-1. That means shifting the column towards one step left. That is the reason I have given the inputs like I and j-1 in this third condition. So during this recursion, it will print the intersection of the row and column where we have diagonal. So this is the condition for diagonals, right? So this is the condition for diagonals, and we'll be printing that particular characters as well. So in that way, the common subsequence between two strings will be printed out, and after calling this function, it will be printed towards the common subsequence. I mean printed beside this common subsequence. And after that, we are printing system.out length. I mean two-dimensional array will be having the answer, I mean the output in the last entry, I mean the intersection of the last row and last column. So at that particular entry we'll be having the longest length of the common subsequence. Now let us run this and check if it's working correctly or not. So for example, we'll say president and providence. We can see the common subsequence is priden and length is 6. Andy and brandy. For here the subsequence is Andy and the length of that is 4. I hope the output is correct. Thanks for watching.